All right, everybody, there's no question that there is a high likelihood that retailers like Walmart and Target, WALGREENS, CVS, the Home Depot, Lowe's are all attempting to try to curb this increasingly revenue reducing, profit reducing problem of theft. Now, granted, it is going to be probably somewhat dependent on particular markets and particular areas and particular stores. Everyone may not experience the same problems, but at the end of the day, these companies and their bottom lines, and according to reports by the National Retail Federation, this is becoming a almost $100 billion problem this year. So they're going to be making some drastic changes. Now, I hope you guys are subscribed to the channel. I hope you guys are watching these videos, and because we are sharing with you, my wife and I, Squirrel Tribe, real world, boots on the ground intel, insider intel, and a lot of these Walmarts. Now, granted, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon has warned that if theft continues to be a growing problem, that stores will be closing. But Walmart has actually undergone and is undergoing remodels with a lot of their stores, and the remodels are designed to obviously encourage more sales, but also to reduce theft. And I think that they may be a little too late. And now I've got another update here, and it looks like it's from Target. It's not Walmart, it's a different retailer. I'm going to show you guys in just a moment. And this is becoming a big problem. And what happens is, what you'll realize is that these companies are now spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to revamp their business model to reduce loss, which ultimately it takes money to make money, the old adage. And at some point, they've probably actually already realized that they're just trying to stop the bleeding. These are just Band-Aids, folks. But at some point they'll realize, and they'll say, hey, we're losing this fight. So we have to rip the Band-Aid off, basically. And you know what that means? Well, in my opinion, that means eliminating the threat. And that threat comes from having physical brick and mortar store locations. That threat comes from having the ability for customers to have access to the products, to put in their pockets, to walk out the back door, to steal with fully loaded carts, walking right out the front door, with no form of, nothing to meet them and prevent them from stealing, and ultimately wiping these companies dry, which hurts their bottom lines, hurts their revenues, hurts their profits, increases their losses. It gets the attention of the CEOs, it gets the attention of the shareholders, it gets the attention of the insurance companies. And folks, I've got a video that I'm working on to bring to you guys with some important information about these commercial property insurance policies that these corporations can use for these increased amounts of theft, and ultimately what that will mean for everyone else, you and I, and the cost that we'll have to pay. Spoiler alert, the prices are going up. Costs are going up, and ultimately the consumer is going to feel a brunt of that pain, just plain and simple. That's how it's going to boil down. All right, so that's coming. So please subscribe to the channel and make sure you have your alerts set so you receive notification when I put that video up. It's coming really soon. But I do want to share some information from Business Insider and my prediction, my 2023 prediction, economic prediction, financial prediction, whatever you want to call it. I'm planning, I'm preparing, folks. You guys know, if you haven't watched my channel or any of my videos recently, you guys who have been, you guys know diversity, security, and cash flow is most important at this time, in my opinion, for me personally. And I'm sharing this information with you guys, and I have a lot of free resources available to you in the links in the description down below, as well as on my Patreon, patreon.com/Kevin247. But this one here as I encourage you all to begin creating your own businesses, begin creating your own income sources, creating multiple diverse passive income streams, I want to warn you guys about the possible hurdles and obstacles that you may face moving forward, because I do want you guys to do this. I don't want you to be afraid of it, but I also don't want you guys to have to experience any of these problems. So I think the best thing to do is to address them now before they become problems. We don't want to end up like Walmart. We don't want to end up like Target. We don't want to end up like Walgreens, having to lock up freezers with chains and locks so people don't steal ice cream. You know, which I wouldn't be surprised if they figure out a way to lock up eggs, because eggs are so expensive that people are probably going to start stealing those soon too. I think eggs are like $1 billion a dozen. You guys know I'm just joking, but eggs are expensive. You know, maybe maybe we could have had like a subsidy on eggs instead of sending all that money to Ukraine so people could buy eggs. But they're getting expensive, and what happens is these items that are in high demand, that are extremely expensive, just like when we experienced a situation with the supply chain shutdown and supply chain crisis, supply and demand is huge. So these criminals, these thieves, this organized crime, this organized retail thieves and this organized retail theft ring, which is elaborate, apparently it's very elaborate, they are trying to capitalize on supply and demand. So whatever's in huge demand, they are trying to supply by way of stealing and reselling. And typically the huge demand is of the items that are relatively more expensive, since most people's income and their paychecks and their savings, their credit card balances, everything's being squeezed right now with this economy, this economic crisis that we're in, inflation, recession. So Jerome Powell, if you're watching, please like and subscribe. But seriously though, let's try to get this economy back on track. Try to fix this monetary policy before it's too late. You know, they're pushing for CBDC, digital dollars, the de-dollarization as we move towards central bank digital currency. But if everything is stolen and nobody has any jobs and any money to make, so what good is this, the digital currency really going to do? Not to mention, you guys aren't going to make any money on taxes. You know, the IRS wants their tax, they want their tax cut. So I do want to encourage you folks to try to diversify your income. Create small businesses, create LLCs, become CEOs. I believe an online business is a great opportunity, and I want to be a resource for you to help you, and as well as content creation. I think the two of those actually go really well hand in hand, because you can create an online business, but you can also create content to drive traffic and sales and revenue to your online business in a variety of ways, while also producing other streams of income from it. It's an amazing resource. I do it every day, multiple times a day on multiple channels with multiple creators in different businesses. And folks, not to brag, but last year was a really, really good year for my content creation and my online businesses and the different streams of income that I've had coming in, and they are only growing. So granted, inflation is a problem. We are in a recession. We are experiencing somewhat of an economic crisis and an economic slowdown. But personally, I haven't really skipped a beat, and I've actually grown and have experienced growth and have huge prospects for continued growth throughout this year, and it's only getting better. I could share the numbers with you guys later. If you guys want to know, just comment down below. But I want to stop beating around the bush and get right to the meat of this. But I felt as though it was very important for me to explain to you that first before I shared this with you, because I don't want this to discourage you from trying to create an online business, but I also don't want you to get hurt by doing it or not experience the success that I know that you can achieve by being unaware of what's going on. So this Business Insider headline reads, Organized Retail Thieves Most Wanted List. And the survey reveals which items are most likely to be stolen from stores. I hope you guys can see that. I hope there's not a lot of glare on that. I'm on my GoPro 11 Hero Black today, So I'll link down in the description my cameras that I use. Again, they're affiliate links through Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything to use the affiliate links. I actually can earn a commission from you clicking the links, purchasing or not purchasing the item on that link just by clicking the link and utilizing it to go to Amazon. I could actually earn a commission on your cart. But you guys can do the same thing. If you want to know how to set up your Amazon affiliate links, just let me know and I can walk you guys through it. But I'll link that down below because I'm on my GoPro Hero 11 Black today. I like to switch up my cameras, and the lens on this is extremely versatile, but it's like a jack of all trades, master of none. So when it comes time to show you these close-ups, it's got a little bit of a glare, which I really prefer my Sony for these close-ups, but hopefully you guys can see that. But organized retail thieves most wanted list. Now this is what's really important. You can see this looks like, I don't think this is Target by the labels on the shelves, but you can see that the Tide detergent is locked up, okay? And this is what I was saying, like, will these stores find a way to lock up eggs so people can't steal them? It says that organized retail crime has contributed to a $94.5 billion inventory shrink problem for the retail industry. Also, I want to let you guys know that I am recording on this GoPro 11 Hero Black, and I'm actually going to take a picture so you guys can see it. And so I am recording on this right now, and what I'm using is you can see in this video, actually I'm gonna do a video so you guys can see it. I had to clean my screen because I think it's a little fuzzy, but I'll put this up so you guys can see it. And I've got the media mod that came with the creator pack on this Hero 11 Black, but you can see that I have my DJI mic attached, and I can plug it in the back of the media mod, and then I can, I do the microphone on my shirt, and it just provides better audio in my opinion. But the media mod built into the Hero 11 Black, the microphone built into it with the diffuser, the wind diffuser, is really, really good. I just like to switch it up from time to time. And if you guys, again, want to know more about my setup and how I do what I do, how I use these products to create content, to make money, a few $1,000s a month, and also how you too can get started with like literally little to no money whatsoever. I just do this for fun, but you guys honestly have the opportunity. You could probably do it with whatever smartphone you have now. iPhone 13, iPhone 14 Pro Max, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. It doesn't matter. But this is just my setup for today, if anybody was wondering. So if you see containers of Tide detergent locked up in your local Walmart or Target, you may have organized retail criminals to blame for that. Comment down below if you've seen this here recently, seeing new things locked up to prevent theft that you've never seen locked up before. And it says that a 2022 survey conducted by the National Retail Federation found laundry detergent to be among the most stolen items in organized retail crime, which has contributed to a $94.5 billion inventory shrinkage issue for the retail industry. These crimes aren't as simple as a lone shoplifter pocketing a product. Nope. Instead, criminal organizations are stealing large quantities of goods and reselling them for profit. And this is coming straight directly from Business Insider. And it says that a group of individuals that specialize in a certain category, like thermal coats, steal the goods in thefts or smash and grabs jobs where they break into the retailer and then resell the goods through new distribution channels like online marketplaces, or sell the goods back to local retailers. It's like hostage. It's like you're holding them hostage, and only to realize that they could be victims again. But there are actually retailers out there that specialize in reselling stolen goods. You guys probably have seen them before. You know which ones I'm talking about. Particularly anybody who has ever been to Atlanta, Georgia, and has purchased anything in the vicinity of Jimmy Carter Boulevard, you know what I'm talking about. Now, here are the most popular items targeted for organized retail crime as identified by the National Retail Federation in no particular order. So you can see here it says apparel. Now, folks, this is really important. Now, actually, somebody left a comment that I wanted to share, that they said that there are some homeless people out there that are actually being put to work to stand on corners and beg for money, to be pulled into a lump sum for an organization that provides them with shelter and housing, but also that there are some homeless people, not all. I'm just sharing what was shared with me. Please don't shoot the messenger. But there are some homeless people out there that are actually being instructed to go and be a part of this theft and collect these goods, and then also realizing that the odds that they get prosecuted or are thrown in jail or even remain in jail for long periods of time are very slim. And even still, if they did, it would be a better living condition and situation than they are currently in. It's a really shocking and developing problem that is only going to get worse for these retailers. It's only going to get worse for us, the consumers, and what we pay on a regular basis. What we have access to are shopping experiences, which are more than likely going to decline as they shift to more of an online basis, which means that the employee headcount and workforce is going to be drastically reduced because these stores aren't going to be, these brick and mortar stores aren't going to be like what they once were. They could possibly become more dangerous situations as people are becoming more armed, exercising their 2A rights, and patrons and customers, thieves, owners, the like, it could be like the OK Corral at some point in some of these stores with everything that's going on with some of these owners putting their lives on the line, putting their families at risk, putting their houses up as collateral to run these businesses, only to see somebody come in and try to steal food out of their mouths. We could see some vigilante style, retaliation here soon. Kind of like, it reminds me of the truck drivers on Fast and the Furious, and they started fighting back as Dom and everybody was trying to hijack their semi-trucks and take their goods. Comment down below if you know which scene of the movie I'm talking about. So here's the deal, folks. This is going to be a huge potential problem moving forward for online resellers and retailers, online businesses. But I want you guys to know ahead of time so that you don't become a victim. You don't get negatively impacted by this change, by these problems, by this theft. For instance, you guys know about the new 1099 IRS rule that they want to start charging people tax on the money that they receive through transfers like PayPal and Cash App and Zelle and Venmo. Maybe not Zelle, because Zelle seems to fail from time to time with Bank of America stealing people's money. I digress. But you guys are aware of this possible change with the 1099 rules, right? Well, people have posed the question and asked, well, what if I'm just being sent money as a friend? So then the IRS says, well, you just have to prove that, or you have to prove it, or they're going to categorize them separately between a 1099K and a 1099N, I believe, or I think this is how the different payment structures are going to be set up to differentiate. So in my opinion, I think it's best for people to have businesses so that they can identify this revenue and expenses and ultimately reduce their taxable income, their net profit as little as possible, so you don't have to pay all these taxes on this money you're making. But also to differentiate between business and personal. Again, future video, if you guys want to know, just let me know, comment down below. But basically, you have to prove yourself. So there's actually an instance, I'm going to put together a full video on this to share with you guys so that you're aware, but there's an instance, and there's actually been a few of them, of a major eBay seller of high-end custom footwear. And he was selling millions of dollars of high-end custom Nike Air Force Ones and Jordans and Dunks and Foamposites and Yeezys and everything, right? And he got shut down. Why? Because eBay and PayPal came to him and said, hey, we need you to produce receipts and invoices for all the products that you're selling so that we know that they're not stolen, they're not counterfeit, yada, yada, yada. And he says, well, I can't do that because some of these are just, purchases made at, swap meets and events and through, exchange transactions on Marketplace and Craigslist or whatever. And a lot of them are custom made. People bought a pair of Air Force Ones for $110. They went home, they customized them, and he bought them, and then he resells them. Well, they shut him down because he couldn't produce the invoices and the receipts and the proof that he actually purchased these products what they were worth. Are they legitimate? Are they authentic? This is why I want to warn you guys. If you are already involved in an eBay store, an online business, Shopify, Etsy, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. You have to make sure that you have the proper documentation of where your products came from to resell. Otherwise, I can see these store thefts inadvertently and ultimately trickling down to those business owners, those online entrepreneurs with online businesses and e-commerce platforms, and just being lumped into a category of, if you're reselling, for instance, detergent. I don't know how many people are reselling detergent, but if you were, they could say, hey, look, all these marketplace platforms could say, hey, look, your store is shut down. You were making a few $1,000s a week. You were making several $1,000s a month. You might have been making several $1 million a year. They're going to shut your store down, okay? And the reason why I say this is because these numbers, these figures, these amounts are realistically possible, folks. Please understand that. So what they'll do is they'll just shut you down. They don't care. Granted, they make a percentage off of what you make, but they don't care. So they'll shut you down until you can provide the proof, just because you happen to sell detergent. However, because detergent is obviously a high theft item, apparel is a high theft item. So if you're reselling clothing, if you're doing any retail arbitrage where you're going out, you're scanning products at stores to see how much they resell for on other websites, which is a great way to make some really good money on the side with not a lot of effort put into it. If you guys want to know more about that, just let me know. You better have receipts, because these items that are falling on this list of high theft items in this organized retail theft crime ring are going to be targeted. Therefore, the businesses and the online e-commerce platforms are going to be targeted. And if you don't have the proof to back it up, they're just going to assume that it was stolen. Not necessarily that you stole it, but you received stolen goods and they don't want to be a part of it, and it'll shut you down. So to avoid that, just make sure that, one, you're purchasing from a legitimate source, and two, you have receipts and invoices to back it up. Maybe even creating content to even highlight and show how you acquire your product, how you build your business, how you, somewhat go to market without giving away your trade secrets, as a backup to prove it, and also as a way to create content and generate revenue from that by sharing it on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever. Because in my opinion, I think this is going to probably be a high level of interest and ultimately a trending topic on YouTube and Google Trends relatively soon, if not already. I'll have to check when I get back to my computer, because people are already experiencing these problems and these interruptions in their business, and they know it's going to get worse. And I'll be willing to bet that for the most part, there are more questions asked than answers and solutions provided. So with that being said, my opinion, if I were to start creating content for 2023 and I really wanted to get a lot of views, go viral, get a lot of subscribers and make a lot of money, I'd probably create content that provides answers to the questions that are being asked the most. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I appreciate you watching. You guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you on the next one.